Hello and welcome to another Vaultuz tutorial. This tutorial is about flows. Vaultuz Flows helps you to plan any type of activity. We originally created it with another Vaultuz user who had a very specific set of tasks. They would always do a certain set of things as they went through from idea all the way through to creation of their piece and then on to sale. So it was really great for them to be able to change the current status to in progress, but that didn't really reflect the type of work or the subtasks that that person was doing. So Flows fixes this. You can create a new flow from here by going to New, or as users create flows and actually find them to be really great and want to share it with other people, they can do it through the Templates button here. So let's try and deploy a template that has already been done. We'll use this template. This is the template by that user who helped us design this feature. It takes a few seconds to create your flow. Within a flow are waves. So there are 5 waves here represented from idea, finish, create, prep and share and sell. Each wave will be technically a column in this view, and then you can add an item. So if you create an item that you're going to be starting very soon, it could just be an idea, it could be some sketches or a couple of thumbnails of a piece that you're working on. I'll just add in a piece I already have, so I'll put in marigolds. Within a wave exists actions. So here we've just got one action, which is just an idea. So let's go to edit a particular wave. So from the edit view, you can change simple things like the background color, the highlight color, which are things like the text or the buttons, and then the object background color. So here's white, for example, so the marigolds appears as white on the background of the wave. If you wish the object to have a border, you can change it here as well. And then you can customize the color of that border too. You can save this as a personal template by clicking on here. And then you can add in a small description, and this description will appear at the top of the wave. Adding in an image can improve its look, so there's an image of an icon here that will appear to the left of the title of the wave. And then of course there are the actions. So as I mentioned before, this has just a single action, but we can add another one. So let's call it extra idea. Then click save. And the extra idea is added here. You can add as many items to a wave as you like. So let's say we're starting very soon another one called Kiwi. And when we complete an action, we can tick it off. If you want to be a little bit more granular about your action, click on the 3 dots to the right hand side. This brings up a pop-up where you can change the name of the title. You can see which flow and which wave the action is in. And then you can set a status of that action. If you were to go to complete, it will put a tick in the box. In progress gives it a different type of icon, sort of 2 little arrows going around there. Or not started. You can set your priority, so if it was a really high priority task, set it here. It'll give you a little icon saying that it's high priority. You have an option to select a due date. Add a bit more of a description about the task, so maybe something more than the title of just an idea. You could have a description about the inspiration around that idea. And then as you move through your action, you can add an additional comment. So if you think of something else, you can add it here as well. You can assign tasks to any of your contributors. As a Creative Pro user, you can get 3 contributors. They could be anybody who helps you out. If you're lucky enough to have somebody to help you out, add them in here. And then you can assign specific tasks to them just by clicking on their button. If there's an attachment that you want to add to this action, you can do it here too. So a good example of that might be you've created a flow for workshops, and one of your waves contains an action that is create a workshop lesson plan. So you can add it in here too. You can also add a bespoke colour to your action if it's really urgent. Give it a red, put the priority to high, and then you'll see that here. You can also see who it's been assigned to underneath the action, and if you had a due date, that would also appear here too. When you've completed all of your actions, or maybe you don't have to complete them, a couple could be outstanding, but you're ready to move this item to the next stage, you can drag and drop it. When you drag it in, it will build out the actions that are associated with this wave. So here are the actions. You don't have to add items, you could add anything you like really, so you could just give it a name of a workshop. Perhaps you've got a workshop coming up in a couple of months, you could put an object as your workshop, give it an image that something relates to that workshop, and then you can drag and drop it through these waves as you do with items. You will have noticed when I dragged marigolds from this wave to this one, it minimized that particular item. You can expand it again. We keep this around in case you got some interesting details in one of the actions and you want to be able to go back and take a look at it. When you've completed all of your items within a wave, you can then collapse that down further, give you a bit more space. So that entire wave is now collapsed down to this left-hand side column. You can bring it back again at any time. If you want to change the order of the actions within a wave, you could do that with drag and drop as well. When you save that, it will reorder any actions of existing objects within this wave. So as you can see, the actions that I moved around in the wave affected the ones here. Of course, you don't have to use a template. You can create a flow from scratch and add in waves from the very beginning as well with the new wave button here. Give it a name, a description, an image if you want to, but that's entirely optional, and then you start adding in your actions. And when you've spent a while creating waves, customizing their look, and you think it might help another artist, you can go back to your flows, click on the edit button of the flow, and click on the share with other Vaultuz users. Okay, that's a quick overview of flows. Thank you very much for your time. See you in the next tutorial.